All right, millions of eyes will be on Georgia this weekend right there as Atlanta hosts the Super Bowl, which, of course, will air on CBS. Let's turn back to Greg Bluestein. He's at the Atlanta Super Bowl Experience, a massive theme park dedicated to the event. All right, Greg, let's mix politics with sports here. You write this at the state level, quote, "The Super Bowl generates a truce in Georgia's culture wars." Tell us what you mean by that. What's going on here?
Yeah, lawmakers have pretty much taken a timeout on really contentious social issues like gun expansions, like abortion restrictions, like a religious liberty fight, because they don't want anything that can mar the spotlight for Atlanta. Atlanta hasn't hosted a Super Bowl since 2000, and that event was marred by ice and chaos and gridlock. They don't want a repeat of that. They certainly don't want a big debate over social issues here. And so there's been a little bit of a, let's say, an informal truce there between conservative lawmakers and the rest of Georgia officialdom.
Let's turn back to politics at the state level there. During the 2018 governor's race, a number of potential 2020 Democrats got involved to support Stacey Abrams. What role are we expecting Georgia to play in the 2020 primaries?
Democrats see Georgia as the new Ohio, and we'll see if that's true or not, but Georgia has 16 electoral votes, and Georgia was closer than Ohio and many other battleground states in the midterms. Stacey Abrams fell about 1.5 points shy of defeating Governor Brian Kemp. So Democrats are looking to put a trove of resources, energy, and time into Georgia, and we've already seen pretty much every potential and current presidential candidate come down and stump with Stacey Abrams, lay the groundwork, meet with activists, meet with donors, do all the things you'd expect them to do in a battleground state. They're doing in Georgia, and this is a huge change. In the past years, we've only been sort of seen as a piggy bank for presidential candidates. Now we're also seen as, now Georgia's also being seen as a potential trove of votes.
I think that is so fascinating, Greg. Your line there about Democrats see Georgia as the new Ohio. I think that's going to strike some people as surprising. What's behind the change?
The demographics are behind the change. The state is getting closer and closer politically. Let's put it this way. In 2012, Mitt Romney won the state by 8 points. In 2016, President Trump won it by 5 points. And in 2018, Brian Kemp won it by 1.5 points. So those margins are getting thinner and thinner for Republicans. And the suburbs of Atlanta are changing. Republicans used to dominate metro Atlanta suburbs. For decades, they dominated it. This past election cycle, we've seen them turn blue.
So what does that portend here with these upcoming campaigns and the tone and tenor of them? We've already seen some ugliness, of course, as we saw last year.
Yeah, well, what it portends is a much more confrontational and aggressive approach from Democrats who aren't going to be taken lightly. They're on the state level and on the national level. They are starting to assert themselves at the state capitol in political wars. They've used the term declaring war on Republicans. So you're not going to see a more docile Democratic Party in Georgia anymore. Much more confrontational and much more aggressive and assertive about policies and about embracing progressive policies that, again, in past years, Democrats would never even dreamed of taking. Democrats in Georgia were long moderates. Now they're taking more liberal stances and not afraid of taking them.
Really interesting dynamics there in your state. Greg Bluestein, thank you so much, Greg, for your time, and have fun this weekend.
I will. Thanks for having me.